Why was Kung Fu Panda 4 such a mid-movie? That is the question we must ask. No, this is stupid. Hello everyone, and today we will be talking about Kung Fu Panda 4 and why it was so mid. But before that, let's give the movie its due credit by highlighting its main features. First of all, the animation quality was actually well done. Not as good as, say, something like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but you could tell that they had updated the quality since Kung Fu Panda 3. Another highlight that was a bit of a surprise to me was how well Awkwafina's character fit in the movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Awkwafina as an actress, but most of the time that I see her in her films nowadays, especially with animated movies, it feels more like the characters that she plays feel less like themselves and more like Awkwafina. That is not entirely a bad thing, but it also sometimes feels like it takes away from the movie. Case in point, movies like The Bad Guys and Migration. Again, great movies, but her character felt more like it was Awkwafina in the movie. Her role in Kung Fu Panda 4, however, was a bit of a change of pace. Yes, by her specific vocals, you could tell that it was Awkwafina playing the character. However, the way the script worked made it seem that it was less about Awkwafina playing the character and more about role. And I praise the film for that. Because again, while I do like seeing Awkwafina in different movies and genres and animated movies, most of the time it feels like the focus is more on her being in the movie and less about the character. And in this case, it was not. Awkwafina's performance in this movie, as well as the slight style change of animation, are the main highlights for me in this movie. Now, let's talk about the main issues of this movie that make it mid-tier. And that is that the story itself was not fully fleshed out. When I was watching this movie, it felt as if DreamWorks and the directors had an idea of where they wanted to go with it. They then started adding in other details that I feel like were more for fan service and less for the story. Don't get me wrong, it was cool to see certain characters return, like Tai Lung and Shin and even Kai. Even though it doesn't quite make sense on why he's back because his soul blew up, but whatever. It was cool to see them, but adding them in as a sort of fan service, as well as other key ideas that they thought the fans would like, diluted that original story, and that I feel is why it made it mid. It left little to no room for them to add key details to the story that were necessary, like how Po is connected to the villain. One part of the movie with the chameleon was that she and Po are basically had a similar backstory, but she chose a different path. That would have made the story more interesting, but it felt like they added so much to 4 that they couldn't fit in that necessary part that connected the two of them and made it more impactful. Again, you could see with characters like the chameleon and Po and Awkwafina's character, you could see that they had an idea and they know where they wanted to go with it. But just certain things about the movie were added that I felt like were for the fans that were crammed in so much that they couldn't actually flesh the full story out. I do think Kung Fu Panda 4 originally might have been an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10 movie, but these added features made it so that it couldn't be. And that's why I think Kung Fu Panda 4 is mid. That being said, if there are any parents who happen to be listening to this, I don't think there are, but if there are, it is still a good movie for your kids to watch. I'm not saying don't let your kids watch it. It actually is a very fun movie to enjoy. You just, when you're watching it, know that it doesn't make a lot of sense and certain parts of it don't add up. But your kids will probably enjoy it, but you might not as much. Which I feel is a shame, because what I noticed growing up with Kung Fu Panda is that even as I got older, the films were more all-inclusive content rather than just a kids movie. So personally, I would rank it a 6 out of 10. It's still entertaining, but as an overall story, it doesn't make much sense. So it's a 6 out of 10 movie. I do recommend you still watch it because it is fun. And they did confirm that they are making 5 and 6 as well to conclude the overall arc that DreamWorks had originally planned. For those of you who don't know, apparently there was an interview. The director said they had planned out 6 movies with an official ending to each of them in case they bombed. And even though Kung Fu Panda 4 was mid and kind of bombed, they did announce they are making 5 and 6. So you do kind of have to watch it to understand what's probably going to go on in 5 and 6. Those two, I hope, are more interesting. They focus more on the story to give Poe and the rest of the characters a final conclusion, like they did with How to Train Your Dragon. A full breakdown of Kung Fu Panda 4 will be released as soon as I get the other 3 done, which could be a bit sorry, but I do still have to get through the MonsterVerse stuff. Haven't started that yet, but I'm working on it. Until then, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye!